Welcome to another episode of the Cool Tools Show and Tell. My special guest this week is Chris Walker. Chris, would you introduce yourself to the folks at home?
Sure, Kevin. Thanks for having me. I'm Chris, and I am originally from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. I live now in Dubai, and I am a lifelong learner.
Well, welcome to the club. I'm so glad that you're joining and volunteering for this experiment. So, Chris, what's a tool that you would be loath to live without?
You see me wearing a pair of headphones here, Kevin, and I live right next to a major expressway, and I'm a light sleeper. So I have these Bose headphones that I've had for a long time, these noise canceling when you can see the paint's worn off of them. The problem that I had with the Bose headphone is that the ear pads would wear out. And they were like made from a synthetic leather. And I found that these ones that are actually suede, and they're actually real leather pads, and they're made by a company called Dekoni, Dekoni. And that's my cool tool, because I sleep with these on, and I put on like a brown noise or white noise, and it blocks out the noise of the cars on the freeway. And sleeping with a headphone on with the synthetic pad, it creates a lot of heat, but with the suede pad, it doesn't do that.
So this is kind of like a third-party add-on to the Bose. These are not Boses; these are other people who make a version. And those headsets that you're showing are probably pretty old. Do they even make them anymore?
Yeah, I went out and had to buy a new one because this one actually, confession, it came unglued. So I tried to glue it, and you could see I'm not a good maker. So I'm about to buy a new set, but I'm still negotiating with them to give me a proper discount because it came unglued. But I got a couple of years of really good use out of this daily, so I'm not complaining. Sure. And now Apple got the memo, because Apple, it's just a magnet.
Oh.
And these, if you've ever tried to replace Bose, you've got to like take them off and snap them in, and then something they don't snap in quite right.
And why don't you use the Apple ones to sleep with then?
Because they're made out of metal, and they're quite heavy. So the trick for sleeping, because I'm a side sleeper, is that I take an airline pillow that has a buckle on it, and then I can sleep on the side because the headphone is right inside.
Wow. That's quite complicated. You have to be almost half awake.
You have to be a sleep fanatic.
Do you also wear the eye blockers as well?
How did you know that?
Well, it just seems like if you're a light sleeper, that would be an issue as well.
Yeah. I wear that, and it's by the makers of these foam mattresses, which the name is escaping me now.
Okay.
But it's like filled with a heavy foam, and it's got a kind of like a velvet outside.
Yeah.
If not, I just use a black T-shirt. A black T-shirt works wonders. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's earphone pad replacements is a great one. What's another cool tool that you want to share with?
Okay. I'm really serious about hot liquids, and coffee is one of my favorite hot liquids. And my wife is a big tea drinker. I do drink a lot of tea myself, and always having a hot liquid on the go is problematic, because they tend to spill on your laptop or at the most inopportune moments. So I found this item. It's called a Purist.
Okay.
Probably the text is backward. I found it at REI in Berkeley, and it was so amazing that my wife confiscated it, and so I secretly took it so I could demo it for you. But essentially, if I take tea and I pour some tea in here,
Yeah.
and that's hot tea. And then I put on this top, which you can get these replacement tops, and it has kind of a little screw that closes the drinking lid, and it
Okay.
goes
Yeah.
all
Right.
the way
Right. Right.
around.
Right. Right.
And let me tell you how many cups I've been through that just never seal. And this one I can then with confidence over my laptop, right over my MacBook, I can sit here and there's no issue. So I could throw this in my backpack with a bunch of coffee, and it's pretty tall, so it works for all day. Purist, and I got it at REI Co-op, and then I went back there in Berkeley, and they were out, so I had to find another REI Co-op. I think in Roseville that had a full stock because people in Roseville are all using paper cups or styrofoam.
You mentioned that the cap, the top, was not the standard issue. This.
But it is standard issue, but they're replaceable. Like me,
Oh, I see.
when I'm
Okay.
getting out of the car, I got a short one for myself, and I messed it up because I'm getting out of the car and the key got stuck inside here, and it kind of tweaked it, and now it leaks. So I've got to get a new top.
So they do make a half size version.
Yeah, they make one that's quite cute. It's about this size. Yeah.
And you said your wife confiscated it. Why was that?
Yeah, you can see her lipstick stains on the
I see.
the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, only that she's using it. That's what you mean.
Yeah, it's hers now.
Okay. All right.
So that's a testimony to what a cool tool it is.
And it works because it's a vacuum. Is that the idea, that it's a two-sided vacuum inside?
Yeah. Inside it has a hollow wall on the inside.
Is it metal or glass inside?
It's metal on the inside. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like metal thermos then.
Yep.
Okay. What does it run? How much does it cost?
I think that was like $50.
Okay.
Which is expensive. I'm a big fan of Zoji Roshi thermoses, the Japanese ones. I've gone through a few of those. They're pretty solid.
You mean the one that makes the hot water?
Actually, this is like a proper thermos cup, like a bigger one. I have to. In fact, this is a Zoji Roshi.
Okay, so you have one thing that makes. So this is the intermediate. This is the kind of the tank.
I have a lot of friends who enjoy hot beverages, so I roast my own coffee, Kevin, in a popcorn popper on the balcony here, so that I get like freshly roasted coffee. Right. So people know me for so everywhere I go, I have to take some coffee.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're the Johnny Appleseed. All right, so that's a good one, Chris. What's another favorite tool of yours?
Yeah, favorite tool of mine is, I do a lot of ever since the pandemic. I've done a lot of virtual work all over the world, and I use this tool for virtual collaboration called Mural. And I've been a fan of externalized cognition tools for a long time. I'm a very early user of Evernote. I picked up Evernote in the early 2000s, and I got a huge Evernote library. And so I use Mural. Anybody can go, it's Mural, MURAL.co. Okay. And it's a software as a service, and I use it at work. I work for IBM, and I use it also for myself because, like I said, I'm a lifelong learner. I learn every day. Every day I'm learning something. And I use this to take ideas from different books and arrange them visually for myself so that I can think on a theme. I'll do a little research from one book and then research from another book and listen to a book, and I'll write it all down. I'll try to congeal it visually in a mural. So you can see here, this one is about a hybrid work thing that I'm doing with a couple of friends of mine who are senior organizational culture people. And we were just doing some brainstorming about what's relevant for for the post-pandemic work environments where people are either working in person somewhat, or they're working from home, or they're doing a mix of the two. So we use this, but it's kind of a cool thing because I can look here and just put in anything.
And it's better than, say, Google Docs. In what way?
It's better than Google Docs in the way that I can run a session and I can do voting in a session. So if let's see, for example, one of the things that I do a lot of is I do a lot of design thinking. So this is an example of a mural that we did for design thinking. And you can see over here these numbers, 1, 2, 3, all these numbers here. Basically, what happens with this is after you do some ideation, you can then rank ideas on feasibility and impact grid, and then you can have the people vote on them. So I can have 100 people in this mural. We could do a quick voting session, and it's all
Right.
it's all taken there, and people can also just mess around. I know Google Docs may do all that as well, but I haven't.
Can you actually have
experimented?
Can you actually have 100 people? Is that really?
Yeah, it's very robust. I can have as many people as I want in here. Well, I haven't tried to break it yet, but I've had up to the real world. I've had up to about 85 people.
Wow.
In
Okay,
one of
that's really
these.
great.
Yeah, it's a great tool. I'm a real fan of it.
And it looks like it's pretty easy to draw on and make visuals and.
Yeah, you just
import.
basically take a sticky out here, and then I can connect it to another sticky, and I can put in any kind of symbol. I can search for symbols. I can grab images from my computer. I can grab images from the internet. I can just run in here and I can say, well, show me all Earth review, and it'll come up with images of all Earth review. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. It's
going I can just drag it right out onto the canvas. I don't know about the Creative Commons aspect of this, but there we go. And then I can undo all this that I've just done as well.
And is it like a free or is it a subscription? What's the?
Yeah, you can get in for free and try it out, and then if you want to host other people in there, then it starts probably around $20 a month. So I have 3 people in my working group, and then I'm paying about $60 a month for that.
So if you're kind of hosting, you can. If you want to invite people in just to participate, that might be free for them.
Yep, absolutely. Like my colleagues, they get it for free.
Yeah. Okay. So Chris, what's your fourth tool?
My fourth tool is a rad ball, and the rad ball is beautiful, like a lacrosse ball type of an item. And what I do while I'm on these long call sessions is I take it, I put it on the floor with my shoe off, and I roll it on the bottom of my foot. And the other thing you can do is you can actually place it on the wall and then stand up, and I've got a crowded area here, but I can essentially position on the wall, and then I can roll up and down on it until it finds really the spot that I needed the help the most. And it's quite hard, but it's just a little bit soft. Rad, R-A-D.
So
and,
you wouldn't use a tennis ball because tennis ball is a little too
kind of soft, yeah. And the CrossFit people use a real lacrosse ball, which is like hard plastic. It's pretty tough. So this is kind of in between. It's like a little mushy, but it does the job. Rad. That's another one.
Okay, the rad ball.
The rad ball.
And you only need one of them, right?
Yeah, you don't need more than one.
Okay, the rad ball for a self massage.
Yep.
So Chris, what are you excited by these days? What are you working on? What's your passion project? What do you want to help or share and promote?
Well, I don't know if I want to help share or promote anything because I'm a wage slave for IBM. So I do consulting uh, uh, in order to keep direct deposit going. And the the assignment that I currently have, Kevin, is to help a group of people uh, get along and get a whole bunch of work done that's new for everybody. And the group is between South Africa and the Middle East, meaning Saudi Arabia and Dubai, and Switzerland. So there are differing cultural paradigms and expectations between those groups and different conceptions of time and different conceptions of level of detail and things like that. So I'm in charge of herding all those cats, and they're on the client side. And then I have a team on the inside of my organization at IBM, which is also quite diverse. I've got a bunch of folks from India, and I have people from Germany and Poland and Morocco and South Africa and the UAE, and we're all and the UK, and we're all working together to get this done. So it's a fascinating project, and I use the Mural tool a lot, and I use Slack a lot, and so I'm my official role is the change leader,
Right.
which kind of means that I'm just trying to make everybody get along.
I'm very interested in these new emerging collaboration tools. Slack is a sort of a crude version of that. You mentioned Mural. Have you seen Miro? Miro?
Yeah, I've seen Miro. I've worked in Miro. I did a big change engagement with a client who had a Miro license. We used Miro, and Miro was better in that you could embed a video, which Mural at that time didn't embed videos. I don't know if they do it now, but it was a little bit clunky. You know, I've been using these kind of different tools for a long time. Like I use Prezi when it first came out. I don't know if you remember Prezi. And I've been a fan of, alternatives to Death by PowerPoint. In fact, I just did a big workshop that we did in Cape Town, and I did all like flip chart. It just screw the PowerPoint, because who cares anymore? What do you think is good?
Some other collaboration tools that you are liking? Particularly, have you seen any VR tools that work as a gathering where people can get to virtually? We have our Zooms, but that's still pretty crude. Have you tried any of the? I think they're called Townside.
Like Second Life or
Well, Second Life was
it was older. Yeah.
I think it's called Town Life. I'm not really sure. Have you tried any of those?
No, I don't know anything about those.
Okay.
Should I learn about that?
Well, the guys who were at Second Life, Phil Rossdale, has been working on something that's more audio based rather than visually based. Well, I mean, it is VR, but you can listen to people, and depending on which way you turn, the sound will be louder. And if you get closer to someone in the virtual space, the sound becomes louder. So you can you have an organic sense of what you're close to, and you can direct attention to someone by facing them, and you actually have a better connection audibly. So he's kind of like the audio track is sort of the thing that is orienting everybody and is emphasized, even though it's in a VR. And that I haven't really tried to use that to get work done. But
what's the name of that, Kevin?
High fidelity.
High fidelity. I'll check it out. I think that that's like a super uh, uh, big defect of the development of end user computing is the reliance on the visual
Right.
channel,
Right.
and we have so many with other rich big channels like the audio channel, and like when I said books, I don't use my eyes to take in books at all. I take in all my books from my ears, and ears. I do a lot with ears. See me with all the headphones,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I use my ears for a lot of different stuff because my eyes are just wiped out, all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time from
Well,
everybody
people
saying, give me your eyes.
well, people have different ways of learning. Some people learn better
Yep.
with their eyes. Some people learn better audibly, and so that's very natural. I consume most of my fiction through my ears.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, well, this is really great. Do you have anything else that you want to share with our audience?
I put on my I think I put on my bio there. I've been playing Cuban folkloric music for the last 40 years, and so I have a YouTube channel. It's not as big as your YouTube channel, but there you can see
Ah, wow.
some of my drums,
Uh-huh.
and I have drums over here behind me as well. But that's a big passion of mine, as is keeping the camera pointed in the right direction. Uh, and so and this kind of the golden era of Cuban folkloric music was for me personally was in that 1980s and early 90s, and so I have all that on YouTube, and I'm putting it out there for posterity. I had all my VHS and everything digitized, so I've
Oh,
got
I see.
hundreds of hours.
You were recording other people playing or yourself playing?
Both, yeah, all of that, yeah.
You were in
So my,
Cuba, kind of documenting some of these people on VHS, and then you've had that recently uh,
yeah, over
migrated,
many years, Cuba,
digitized.
Mexico, Canada,
Oh,
USA, yeah,
wow. Okay. All
yeah.
right. Well, you're kind of like a Alan Lomax doing
I
some
don't
of.
know Alan, but
Alan Lomax was the guy who was originally folk recording, who went down south and was one of the first people to record things, indigenous folk music and then later went around the world to
oh,
record folk music and began to get a taxonomy. He was one of the first people to try and kind
um,
of make a taxonomy of folk music, but he was the original guy recording it, Alan Lomax. Look him up.
fantastic. I'll write that down.
Um, so
Hey,
this is really great. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, I wanted to thank you for sharing. I just want to give you a shout out. Say I've been a big fan of yours, and I got, my parents bought me my first Toller catalog in about 1971, and then
Okay.
I think I became aware of you at the Full Evolution Quarterly or something
Yeah.
like that, and I was reading the
Yeah.
Whole Earth Review and Wired from the very beginning. So though you don't know me at all,
Uh-huh.
I feel a connection with you. So
Well,
thank you, and thank you for all
you're
that you
welcome.
do. Yeah,
Thanks for joining me on the journey. It's been really great. And
right
I
on.
appreciate your taking time to share some cool tools with us. So
Absolutely.
stay cool and
Have a
goodbye.
good day. Yeah, I'll do that.
This year, our Cool Tools blog will be 20 years old, which means we've been posting something new every day for 20 years. It's only possible because of the very engaged and knowledgeable readers and listeners like yourself. You've kept this place going, and we are very grateful for you. With this idea of 20 years in mind, we decided to try an experiment this year, and I'm inviting our guests and listeners to join me on our Cool Tool Show and Tell, which is the program that you're listening to right now. So if you feel you'd make a good guest on this podcast and have 4 uncommon tools that you'd like to share with us, please sign up on our form on the website, and we'll see about inviting you. You must be comfortable talking on a video, And you need to have some tools that you can show. We record on, as you know, on Zoom. We do a YouTube version, a video version of it, as well as an audible version. Fill out the form if you're interested, and list your four cool tools, and we'll see if there's a good fit. The applications aren't guaranteed in any way, and we're looking at tools that are new to us and appropriate tools, and whether the times will work for you. So we're really interested in hearing from people all over the world, not just in the US, although the tools have to be available online, easily available online. And if you are a longtime listener, you kind of know what the definition of our tools are. They're very broad. They can be anything that's handy, from something in the kitchen to something you use to travel, to a workshop, to something professional that we may not know about. We're really interested in things that we don't know anything about. So this is an open invitation. We'll give it a try. If you think you make a good guess for this podcast, fill out the form. There'll be a link somewhere on our website. And we look forward to chatting with you. Thank you.